Hey everyone, welcome to today's video. We are in Sunnybrook Park / actually Willow Creek Park, and I had just completed a video going through Edwards Gardens in Willow Creek Park. And now we are in deep inside of Willow Creek Park. Beautiful fall afternoon. I am making my way home, but I wanted to take you along this pathway. I used to come through this pathway to and from work every day in 1991, because Leslie Street is where the camera is angling now. So it's just behind that escarpment there. It's Leslie Street. And I lived on Broadway, and Broadway going straight eastbound will take you into Sunnybrook Park. So I used to walk along Broadway into the park, and then I would emerge into Leslie. Or onto Leslie rather, and there was just a little pathway up ahead that leads up to Leslie, but it was blocked off today, so I couldn't show you that little hill that I would take to get to Leslie. But the thing was, I would have to jaywalk across Leslie. So 30 years ago the traffic wasn't quite as intense as it is today, but you know, Leslie is a busy thoroughfare that runs north-south here in Toronto. But I used to get to work early, and I usually left around, I think, 5:30. I don't know how I made it across unscathed. I don't think I'd be as brave today to be crossing Leslie Street, and there were no lights. And I still think the building that I was working in, are still no lights in that near vicinity, in the vicinity nearby that building. So, yeah. Glad I'm not doing that today. I'm not quite as daring as I was 30 years ago. But isn't this beautiful? So every day, every morning coming through here, going home every night. I only had sort of one scary encounter, and it was going home. And so going home at 5:30, especially in the winter, right? It's dark. So if I felt really uncomfortable, I would just walk straight south on Leslie and then hit Eglinton, and then walk west on Eglinton, and then, you know, take some side streets to get to Broadway, and then away I went. But most of the time, I spent most of my time coming through the park. But only one time there was a creepy guy in the bushes. And so he could have just been maybe one of the bathroom. But yeah, creepy. Oh, there's a chipmunk. Hello. You're so teeny tiny, and how perfect you are. Oh, there he goes. There you go. Oh, there he went. Yeah, so there was just that one time. So when I saw that, I just kind of turned right around and went back onto Leslie. Now I was really close to Leslie at that point, because there's not many pathways along this route that would take me close to Leslie with having to travel a little bit further down. So I just turned right around just to avoid that guy, because if I would have just kept walking where I'm walking now, and there weren't many people, you know, who knows what would have been on his mind. Anyhow, that was my only creepy encounter in the park. And I remember also coming through this park, David and I would often cycle through here. We haven't done that in a few years, I don't think. At least 2 years we haven't cycled in here. Oh, you know what? I think I'm lying. We did cycle here last summer, summer 2021, but we haven't cycled in here 2022. But I do remember back in my training days, I used to, with the group, come through here running, training runs, because it's a great place to run. So I never worry because the group, there was always somebody who, most people knew where they were going, except for me. So I just followed along because it's something I would never, ever do on my own. I would be so lost. Alrighty. So that continues through to Sunnybrook Park. We are heading now towards one of the parking lots, but this is just part of the path that I would take home and to and from work. Serena Gundy Park is in this. I think is where we're going. So I'm sorry, folks. The sun is probably hitting the lens. Certainly blinding. Thank goodness I have sunglasses on. But you know what? I think, when I think about it, cutting through this parking lot at night and early in the morning was really kind of a dumb move. But I never felt unsafe ever, except for that one creepy guy I told you about. And but still, like, it's something you just don't do. Because early in the morning, the park wasn't very busy, especially in the fall, spring, winter. In the summer, it was a little bit busier because runners would be out and running through the parks. It's a great place to run. But yeah, I would not recommend it unless there's there's a lot more traffic in here, people-wise. That provides me with a sense of security. And this bridge that we're crossing right now, you can see it's just a metal bridge. You can see right through to the ground, and we're going to cross over the stream. It used to be an old wooden bridge, I remember. Oh, pretty dog.
Yeah, it's
Metal grid, surface bridge, cyclists dismount. David and I would never dismount, just cycled through. There's a reason why you should walk your bike across bridges like that, because it's easy to, catch an edge and then you fall over. And certainly in the winter, it'd be super slippery. No traction. Yeah, so I would walk through here. I mean, it is gorgeous. It's the middle of the afternoon, but as you can see, I'm by myself, and it's a Saturday. So during the weekday, would tend to be less busy because back in those days, everybody went into the office or to their work location, versus today where many workers can work from home. And I would often be the only one walking this pathway. Oh my goodness. Footloose and fancy free, not a care in the world. What was I thinking? Oh, it's so glorious. And I used to so treasure when I was able to walk to and from work with any of my jobs, it was always the highlight of my day. So perfect way to start the day and a great way to end the day. I don't mind public transportation because you can kind of get lost in your thoughts when you're on the train. And that's a good way to sort of come down off of a busy day. And driving, of course, is, you don't get that same sort of calming, at least for me. Some people thoroughly enjoy it, but driving during rush hour is no fun for me. But being able to walk is the best way to decompress from a long day, hard day. And this is what I got to enjoy. I did it for a year in 91 until the company moved to Mississauga. And that's when I started to have to drive to work, take the 401. Yeah, that does not compare at all to being able to walk an hour to and from work. When you're driving, you're at the whim of any traffic accidents or the weather or your car breaking down. This is a nice park. You can see there's picnic tables. People are enjoying a meal. Kids often play in here with their parents. It's lovely. That's a public washroom. So I am en route home, and I think I'll take Broadway all the way. But the unfortunate thing is I'm walking right into the sun. I will be walking westbound, and it is the afternoon now, so the sun is going to hit me square in the face. So maybe what I'll do is I will zigzag crossing over Eglinton into Leaside, deeper into Leaside, making my way home. How beautiful it is. So this hill that we're broaching is a great hill to cycle down. But then it's not so great having to cycle back up. So for the longest time when I would cycle up this hill, David and I would come cycling through the park, I used to just have to get off my bike and walk up because I was a wimp. And then I thought, you know what, I'm just going to keep gearing down, and made it up. Because I used to be too lazy to kind of gear down all the way, and so I just would get off my bike and walk. And I'd say to David, see you at the top? He would ride up the whole way, be waiting for me. But I think the last couple of times we've come through here, I have just geared down. And just took my time and pedaled all the way to the top of the hill. Oh, hello! Gorgeous! Yeah, she's having a good walk. Thank you. Beautiful pupster. Yeah, they're saying we're in the park. And when we had our dog Physics, he loved all the green spaces because, especially in the fall, because of the decaying leaves and, the scents that maybe we cannot necessarily smell as well as they can. But he'd be in his glory.
Go, Carlo.
Yeah, and then rolling around the leaves and sometimes picking up unpleasant leftovers, if you know what I mean. So it's a nice climb on foot. It's fine. You can see the cyclist doesn't need to pedal because it's a downhill trek for him. But we are reaching the top here of Broadway. Coming in from the east. That's Broadway Avenue. And this part of Broadway, we're in Leaside, community of Leaside, the Leaside neighborhood. Leaside, everything that I've seen in the neighborhood of Leaside is really quite nice. There is an industrial part that is to the south of here. Less nice, but this part is nice. Quiet, just off of Eglinton. So here we are. I think I mentioned in my last video, my gimbal has a bit of an attitude. Well, folks, thank you very much for joining me in today's video. I hope you enjoyed as much as I do. I just certainly enjoyed having you along with me. It's fun doing these walks with you. Thank you very much for joining me, and I look forward to seeing you in my next video. This is Boomer Girl Walking, signing off.